Hello and welcome to this video. Today I am going to wood burn a little cutting board. And I know it's a bit crazy since it's in the middle of summer and it's really hot out, but I kind of got really inspired by some wood burning lately, so I decided to pick up this cutting board and to do another project. I did some wood burning like way earlier, but I never really showed it on YouTube. But I have a wood burning iron since like a long while. It's not the most expensive one, but it works pretty well. Although it's one of the like plastic handle ones, so it tends to get hot and you have to like kind of work in stages if you spend too much time, or you have to wrap the handle. And also like the distance from the handle to the burning tip is quite far, so getting straight lines is really hard, but I wanted to try once again. So I drew up a little pattern, and you can see it's very much so Pokemon inspired. And I just like used some graphite on the back of my little drawing and like traced everything, so I have a guideline for the outlines on the wood, and then I just went over it again with my pencil. Now, it is going to be a bit more challenging to burn this wood, because like any wood has structure, and this one in particular, these kind of cutting boards, they tend to have like a lot of different structures since they're made of like strips of wood that are joined, as you can kind of see by the jewelry and the like color changes in the strips. And that means that like your iron will burn way differently to like different parts of the board. And also, like, most times these types of wood tend to like have really soft spot and then like harder spot for the grain, so like your iron can get caught, and that also makes it really hard to make straight lines. There you can see I chose this angled nib. It is a decently short angled nib, but I know that I have a bit more control over this one than over the longer one. And I waited till my iron was hot enough. I just have a scrap piece of wood there where I tested it. And then I really slowly and carefully, just piece by piece, went in and did the outline. I am going to try something new that I haven't really tried before in this piece, and that is going to be shading. And I'm very nervous about this, because again, it's very different stripes of wood. And I don't know how well they will take these kind of shading styles, like the heat, how dark they will get, and if they will get even dark, but we shall see that in the end. Now, it actually went super well. Like, I didn't do this type of wood burning in a long while, so I wasn't sure if I could get clean lines. But besides a little mess up on the base where I accidentally like drew through a line that wasn't like really supposed to be there, it actually went super well. All I did was just go very slowly, make sure that it's like evenly burned but not stay too long in one spot. And if I had to go over like a piece again, then that was totally fine. I just like very slowly made sure that the burn is even. And that worked super well. I had to angle my iron in some pieces, and that helped, but I definitely could tell that like some parts of the wood were softer and were burning quicker, like especially where the base is. You can kind of tell that the lines are way darker than like on the top bit of this cap, and it just like, it's basically because like not the iron getting hotter, it's just the wood being softer there. Like when I go back to do like some of the other outlines, they're not going to be as feathered as some of these. And it was objectively also like a bit harder to get like straight or like nice curved lines down there because of the soft wood. Like the iron would like burrow in there and the tip would get caught easily, so I had to like take it slow. It's not perfect, but considering this is hand burned, I'm more than happy, because I know how hard this can be, and it worked actually, in my opinion, really well. Also, when I said I haven't done this in a while, I mean like basically in like 7 or 8 years. And I know it's a long time, so I wasn't really expecting to be actually managing this well, but I was pleasantly surprised. Anyways, after I got all the outlines, I went in and like shaped some of them a bit more evenly, and then it was time to do the shading. And for this I just turned the iron to the side, and at first it didn't really do anything, and then all of a sudden like the pieces I went over were getting pretty dark. So I realized I need to move a bit quicker. Also, you can really tell how like different the stripes of the wood are that they use, like just based on how they take the shading. Like, I really needed to work quite a lot to get the top part a bit darker, while the bottom part basically like completely darkened instantly when I went over it with the iron. And again, this has nothing to do with the heat, just with the differences in like pieces of wood. But I think I managed pretty well. It's definitely a thing I want to practice more because it's not that even, but overall I'm super happy. At this point I was just really in the mood for woodworking, so I decided to do another little project. And first I thought I wanted to wood burn this piece, but after like trying it a little, like you can see the hints of me trying to wood burn there, like the wood is very, very hard. So it was super hard to get like any good lines, so I decided to like sand things off again, not even show you guys, and just basically decided to carve. So my plan was to make a little like almost 3D flower. Again, this wood is very hard, so this took actually so long to carve. But by the end of it, I'm actually quite happy with the result. Because I had this box for years and I always wanted to decorate it. I did paint it at some point and send that off again, and then it was plain for a while, and then again I just wanted to try some wood burning and that didn't work out at all. I don't quite know what kind of wood this is, but this is like so tough. It was really hard to like carve into it with my Dremel. And I use this as like full speed here with like fresh carving bits that usually basically just completely eat through material. And it took like 4 hours of going at it with my Dremel and my little hand carving tool, and yeah, it was just a huge pain for this project, but I think the outcome was definitely worth it. So my plan was to make a little like, it is more of a fantasy flower, but it's definitely inspired more by like actual real life flowers, but I didn't count any petals or anything. So the middle I wanted to like make the like seed pods like a bit more 3D and raised, so I carved them out and I used my like ball tool attachment for the sander and like carved out little sections to like break it off, give us some texture. And then I carved all of the little petals, and I wanted to make this 2-layered, but I knew I need to start on the top. And again, this wood was so hard that even just like with this really, really sharp wood carving tool, it like took ages to even get the shape of the petals nicely. And at some point I just accepted that I just cannot go as deep. And then I just, you know, kind of rolled with the petals being a bit thinner, just like IRL. I originally wanted to have them really 3D because the lid is quite thick, so I had quite a bit of material to work with, but it just really didn't work out. So in the end, I spent like a good hour carving out the outer petals, which was basically at this point just like carve away at the negative space where like the other petals weren't, and I kind of shaped them underneath and tried to get like sharp points. And then I went back in with my wood carving blade here to like kind of even it out. I managed decently well, but it like I couldn't get it perfect as I wanted to. And again, this was just due to the wood. If I had worked like maybe another couple hours more on this, I may have been able to, but at this point like my fingers started to hurt and I was just like, I'm going to embrace all of the texture it has, because I know that like if I try more and more I may not get the best results, since I already was pretty happy with how the petals look. So I just used a little nail file sanding stick thing to like even things out. And then it was time to paint. I know it was pretty hard to see the carving, because it was like basically the same color all the time on the like wood, so I actually also had like a bit of trouble to see them while I was carving them. I had to like constantly angle my lamp so I could see them a bit better. But I wanted to make them really pop out, so I just took some acrylic paints, watered them down and used them as a kind of wash. Starting with some orange. I really love these kind of pretty orange flowers. I think they're very, very nice in nature, because the orange is like really bright and it looks just like really friendly, and that is why I chose that color. And then in the middle, like the sepal is going to be brown, and then the outside I did a very, very light green wash. I didn't want to overpower it, like the focus should be on the flower, but I still wanted to give it a little bit more contrast to like outline the leaves a bit better and like, you know, really highlight the 3D effect, and it actually helped quite well. And then to like bring out more of the details, I did like a darker wash in the center and a little bit of like lighter yellowy orange dry brush on the leaves. And this first of all covered up any of the mistakes I made with the like green paint where it kind of touched the petals. And it also really made it look more 3D. By the end of it, I was so happy that I could still like really get the 3D effect to like pop out with the colors. But yeah, here you can see the finished cutting board in all its glory, and here you can see the 3D effect. And yeah, without the colors I was really worried that I just ruined this, but once I painted this, as I said, look at how 3D and nice it looks, and it's decently deep still, the carving. I would have loved to go even deeper to like really highlight it a bit more. But I'm just going to accept that this material is not that easy to carve. It's probably very good for like working on a lathe when you like have a harder material that like holds the shape better, especially for like the screw bits, so that there's no piece that breaks off. But like hand carving, it's just not ideal. But yeah, here are both of the results together. As I said, like I wanna like learn a bit more about like shading and shading techniques for the wood burning, but I still think like my little finish there turned out super cute. And honestly, I love like these kind of ghost Pokemon that are just like, you know, Machete and things like that, or like a broken cup. I think they're super adorable, and this will definitely be like a nice addition for my kitchen. And then of course like the little container, I've been using it for years actually. Whenever I like wore like small studded earrings or something and I took them off in the evening, I put them in there like to not lose them when I like had them on my side table, and it actually really helped to like keep them and the backings together so I wouldn't lose them. And then in the mornings I could either put them away into like the jewelry box where they belong to, or I could wear them again and I could just be sure that they're safe. And now that it's actually like nice and pretty, I'm definitely gonna be even more happy to use it. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Let me know in the comments down below, first of all, if you have ever done woodworking and have like any kind of tip for better shading. And second of all, which one of these is your favorite projects? And as always, I hope you have a great day. See you next time. Bye bye!